Alrighty, hello. So we finally got another My Hero Academia chapter. It's been a while because of some issues Horikoshi's been dealing with, which we're not exactly sure what those are, but this is chapter 383, and I'm kind of mixed on it. Now, to put it briefly, everything that happens in the chapter is like pretty cool, but my one issue is that it feels very rushed, this quick backstory to explain the fight going on between the member of the Paranormal Liberation Front that killed Midnight and him fighting for the release of Gigantomachia against people like Ashido, Kirishima, Shinso, and Mount Lady. We also even have an appearance from the sludge villain who was in episode 1 trying to take over Deku's body, and then I think Bakugo's later on if I'm remembering correctly. But anyways, there's a lot going on in this very short sequence kind of explaining how Shinso and Kirishima got on top of Gigantomachia, now Shinso controlling him and showed up to attack All For One. And we get a lot of cool developments such as where Shinso's been the whole time, he's been hiding, as well as the fact that Kirishima, Mount Lady, and Ashido have been fighting off these members of the Paranormal Liberation Front, of course trying to stop Gigantomachia, and once Machia finally does wake up, Shinso's supposed to try to mind control him, but the sludge villain got to Shinso first. Kirishima tries to save Shinso from the sludge villain, he's unable to. A fight continues between Mount Lady and now an awakened Gigantomachia, where they're all just trying to risk it all to stop him from joining the battle. And then, long story short, Ashido uses a new move that she trained off screen and ends up saving Shinso. Shinso then calls out to Gigantomachia in All For One's voice, and he's now controlling Gigantomachia. Ashido passes out from exhaustion, or as well as dehydration. And that's pretty much the end of the sequence, and it feels very, very rushed. I feel like this definitely deserved a couple whole chapters to itself to really feel the weight of Midnight's death and the impact on the students, as well as the person who killed Midnight, kind of learning more about them. We get their personality briefly, but they're just like any other Paranormal Liberation Front member, or at least the stronger ones who just believe, oh, the Strong's will continue on. Kind of like the ice user from the first war arc, that being Gaten, and his whole mindset on things. So yeah, I feel like it was a good enough explanation as to how things got where they are, but because I like all these characters so much, I would like to see it all fleshed out more. Mina now repaying Kirishima here for what happened in the last war arc where he saved her, and now it's the opposite. Again, thematically relevant, very cool to see, but rushed nonetheless, sadly. Regardless though, the end of the chapter is just purely hype as we see people like Dark Shadow, Mount Lady, Gigantomachia being controlled by Shinso, and also Inasa all fighting and going to hit All For One at the same time. The scale of this war is clearly gigantic, I guess pun somewhat intended with Gigantomachia, but nonetheless pretty cool chapter. It's good to have My Hero Academia back this week, and if you did enjoy this video, please subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.